respect, all right, these conventional system, I mean the conventional players. And then at the same time, we don't deny that they have contributed to the socio-economic development of these nations, but at the expense, all right, at the expense of some people, at the expense of some nation. Now, this is a very big debate. This is a very big debate, all right? We could go on and on and on. But what I would say, if we look very carefully at these basic principles of Islamic financial system, we look at the condition for Islamic financial transaction. These are not new, all right, in the conventional system, all right, or in today life, all right. In fact, it could be well used and deployed. All right. With that, I will end my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Munir Al-Muhammad, for his explanation on the fundamentals of Islamic finance, especially relating to the rationale behind. And now I have the pleasure to invite Professor Abdul Ghaffar Ismail from Malaysia. He is the professor in banking and financial economic and the School of Economics, University of Kebangsaan, Malaysia. During the intervention of Brother Munir, he stressed that some of the main points, and the basic thing was that interest is haram, riba is prohibited. So many may be thinking, how is it possible to have a system, a banking system, without the use of interest? Whether the economy may collapse, how the system will work. So we have various Islamic financial products mentioned, for example, Murabaha, Musharaka, Mudaraba, Istisna, Salam, etc. And in designing these, we can say, innovative new products, there are certain parameters which should be respected. There are certain limitations which will have to be taken into consideration. So the main aim of the topic of Professor Abdul Ghaffar Ismail is regulation on the parameterization of Islamic financial products. So I invite Professor to explain on this topic. And of course, after the session, there will be about some 5 or 10 minutes for any question, both from Brother Munir and from Brother Ghaffar, and then Mr. Budi will conclude the session. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizing committee for allowing me to present my paper, and my respected fellow speakers, and also dear brothers and sisters. The chairperson asked the question on how do the system works. So it make that question a challenge for me to present this paper. And at the same time, also I've been working with the Citibank Malaysia for the past 6 years. And some of the product have been awarded with a award like Sukuk structured, which was launched and issued by the Telecom Malaysia and also Petronas. And the recent one is the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, the second airport for the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. So with that experience, I will combine those in our paper on the regulation on the parameterization of Islamic financial product, probably from the experience in Malaysia. Oh, sorry. So, as mentioned this morning by the Deputy Governor of Bank of Mauritius, about the issues of cross-border activities. The cross-border can come from in the country or between country, where the bank issue a product which should be accepted by other banks, not only in this country but also in other countries. But we know that to be accepted as an Islamic product or Islamic financial services, it need to be endorsed or it need to be approved by the Sharia committee of the respective institution. Okay, so this is the task that we have. Okay, the task that we have at the industry level. How can we harmonize or standardize the product features which can be accepted by the parties that involved in the transaction? Okay, so this is a challenge for us in the industry, and especially when we should recognize that financial institutions should accept the different rules due to the different school of thought. We are coming from the Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, so we have the different rules or different ijtihad based on the different school of thought. Okay, but lately, because of we have the standard, the new institution like AUFI, okay, IFSB, and also the Fiqh Academy, and also Alhuda, probably Isra in KL, which I have been working with them, and also our research group. So we are trying to the best way that we can make sure that the product or the services can be accepted by the interested parties. Okay? So the response is, of course, the response from each jurisdiction is to attempt an Islamic integration into the international financial system. This is the attempt. You want to be integrated with others. Okay, that's why your product want to be accepted. Your product want to be approved by the Sharia committee in each jurisdiction. Okay, therefore, the challenge is how can we produce that, the product that can fulfill the requirement of the parties that involved in this transaction. So in designing and also in offering new product and services, Islamic financial institutions normally are exposed to several obstacles. The obstacle is the legal origin, because Malaysia follow the British law, common law. And as probably Dr. Muniruddin aware that there's an article written by Laporta that the law origin can make the financial transaction efficient. So this is a challenge for us also, that if we follow the Dutch, for example, if follow the Scandinavian law, whether the financial system is efficient or not. So now the challenge is for us is whether if, let's say, we follow the Islamic law, whether the financial system will be efficient. This is also a challenge for us. Okay. So in order to, and also differences in ruling due to the different mazhab or school of thought, sound and also prudent regulation in a different jurisdiction. So therefore this has motivated the Central Bank of Malaysia or Bank Negara Malaysia to deviate from the other regulators by introducing a new guideline, the guideline on the parameter of the contract. Okay. So what is the aim of this paper is to explain the creation process in offering new product, and then also to identify the parameters. So what is the process involved in creating the product and also the new product and also services, and then they identify as mentioned by the first speakers on the parameters in designing those products. Okay, and then finally I will highlight the issues that may arise due to the introduction of those parameters. Okay. So this is the reason to regulate, because the central bank come up with a regulation. Okay, so this, what is the reason? Of course, I won't touch on that, but probably we want to, one of the reasons is to promote competition and efficiency. Okay, and then is promote competition and efficiency. How many products that you have, you can offer to the customers. Because sometimes if you have a limited product, you cannot catch the market, and you are not efficient enough to catch the market, or you are not efficient enough to operate. Okay. So by having more product, supposed to be you are efficient. Okay. And at the same time, you can cater the need of the customers. Because sometimes the customers come in because I don't want to have the profit. Because my aim is to do a good deed. In Qadul Hasan, for example, I give money. I want to do a good deed, and then at the same time, the recipient also want to do a good deed. By what?